Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday 365. I'm your host, Matthew, and remember to subscribe so you can join me on this journey where every day is Friday. Hit that subscribe button. Today, I have a really special guest joining us, Alexandra. She is an entrepreneur, speaker, author, and branding expert known as the networking queen. Alexandra, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to have this conversation. And I love that every day is Friday because I love Friday.
It's a special kind of energy.
A special kind of energy. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Now, for the listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, can you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So Alexandra Silva Labarr, I own Alexandra Marketing and PR firm. We help businesses with their brand. Also an author. I've written 3 books. Didn't even think that was going to be the route I would end up at. I mean, I never saw myself as writing books, but once you start, trust me, you just keep writing. So on my 3rd book, I Show Up Scared, became bestseller. And then also wrote Show Up Scared, the youth teen edition. I wrote a book for my 13-year-old self who needed that guidance to keep showing up. So that's my latest project, is really getting the word out there about, you can do it. You can do it scared. What else about me? I live in South Florida. I've been here for about 25 years. I was born in Portugal. I came to the US when I was 7, so Americanized, been here for a long time, but I love my roots. I think I'm retiring in Portugal almost. I don't think, I know I'm going to retire there. So, yeah, so here enjoying life. I have 5 children, all blended, been married for over 20 years. So, entrepreneur, always getting into something. So I'm excited to be here and kind of give you all a little bit of what makes all these different parts come together.
And you are known as the networking queen. Many business owners grow faster through networking. I want to know from you, like how did your journey into business and networking first begin?
Yeah, great question. So I've been networking from, I would say, I was a little girl, and people ask me, really? So the story is this: when I was 13 years old, I lost my mom, and I quickly found out that I could not do it alone. I started leaning on to mentors, leaning on to other people that were going to support me, and through my just adult, I would say, early adult journey, going into corporate America, I just became this excellent networker. I was able to just connect with people because I knew the value of it, not because someone taught me, because I had to learn, right? Because of the loss of my mom. But with that was my superpower, and I was able to just connect so deeply with people. And people would say, "How do you do it? How do you just connect with people? You go to events, you bring back so much value." And then I thought to myself, wow, people really have a problem doing what I do so naturally. So that's where I decided to write a book and teach and coach others how to connect deeper. And then I created a framework around it, which is the 7 essential C's of networking. And if you apply these C's, you become the best networker out there. So I kind of created the framework that's easy to follow, right? Because not everyone could go through the experience, but if you follow the framework, it just makes a lot of sense.
I have to ask you, I mean, how did you earn the nickname networking queen?
I know. So because of the organizations and how people just saw me out there just networking, and just because of the relationships that I have, they're like, "You're everywhere. Oh my goodness, you're the networking queen. Every time we go and they follow me on social media." So they gave me the name and I kept it. I was like, when somebody gives you a title, own it. And I own it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've written many books now. Authors also, they often like build stronger personal brands through books, which you have. What inspired you to, write your first book?
Yeah, so my first book is called The Power of Networking. And that was not supposed to be my first book. It was supposed to be, it was only actually a course I did because during COVID, so let's go back a little bit. So I started my own business, left corporate America 7 years ago to bet on myself. And this was 2019, the end of 2019, November. Few months later, we all know what happened to the world. The world shut down, it was COVID. So I was like, oh my goodness. I just left like my entire corporate position, making good money. I was doing great. And now here I am. But I quickly pivot. And of course, I showed up scared. Kept going, kept going. However, the power of networking became a course because people could not network in person anymore. So I created more of a digital side of network. And so I would teach and teach and teach. So I was already writing another book, which was Show Up Scared. It had a different name. But then from a spiritual standpoint, I was walking in the park, like I do every morning. If you follow me, I'm always walking and, walk and talk with Alex. That's my thing. And I leave all these different messages. And, God, the universe just came to me and said, "You're putting out the power of networking." I was like, "I am? I don't have a book called The Power of Networking. I have, this other book I'm writing, which is became Show Up Scared." And no, you're writing The Power of Networking. It's a course. I came back from that walk and I got to my office and I sat down and I looked at the course that I had written and had been teaching. And I was like, chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, let's go. So that's where this whole idea came of writing a course that I had into a book and just went crazy. People loved it. They're like, wow, the power of networking and creating that framework. And then I was getting like Florida government employee, organizations bringing me in to speak to 2,000 people, 500 people. People were just calling me like, please come and help our people learn how to network because nobody knows how to network here. So that's how that whole networking book came about.
A lot of people think networking is only about like sales and selling.
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake people make when networking?
Yeah, they make it about them, and that's the number one mistake, right? If you're out networking and you're making it about you, you're doing it all wrong because it's never about you. And in my book, The Power of Networking, every page I talk about leading with service. It's how can you help others? And with that in mind, you want to learn, right, from the other person and see how you can serve them. Most people doing it wrong. They're out there trying to get that lead. They're trying to make money. They're hustling. And that's not how you build relationships. And that's transactional, right? So, my book is the opposite of what most people do.
So you're saying networking is all about building trust first?
Yeah, it's like anything else. You're just not gonna meet someone and marry them, right? I mean, some people do. Good for you. But most relationships are built going on a date, getting to know each other, meet the parents. There's steps that happen when you meet someone. Why is it different in business, right? That's how we connect. It's the same concept. It's a relationship. People are going to do business because they trust and know you. And a lot of times people will give you the business just because they like you. They think it's a talent. No, a lot of times it's just they know that you're going to take care of their customer. You're going to take care or do what you say you're going to do because now they have trust. They're sending you the opportunity. It's not always you have to be the expert at something. It's that trust comes first.
What's the best way to build trust fast?
It's getting to know somebody. One of my essential C's is called common ground. Common ground is a step most people miss because they don't learn about each other. What do you have in common? Where are you from? How do you make decisions in a sense? Like what's going on in your company that is really keeping you up at night? Like how can you just ask questions and that's how you build common ground and you're like, wow, your solution. Sometimes maybe you can't help that person, but someone in your network can. So that's why these questions are important of building that relationship. Where are you from? Learn about what they like to do. Go on social media, find out about what they've done, just like you've done today with me, right? That is how people feel warm and fuzzy. Like this person took the time to do a little homework instead of just like trying to sell me on something. So there's different layers to it, and we rush the sale, we rush the transaction, really, and we forget that that person can be a referral source for us. It can be someone that gives us multiple opportunities, but we're so busy trying to chase that transaction that we miss that relationship side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I see fear stops so many people from chasing their goals.
Yeah.
What does showing up scared really mean?
Yeah, so showing up scared is all about doing it scared. Is that we're taught that fear is something that we should maybe avoid or that one day will go away. that we stop, right? We stop. Fear stops us from doing things. I disagree. I believe fear is just data, right? Data that your brain stores from years and years of like trauma that you've gone through. So the brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening today or what happened 10 years ago. It just knows what you feed it. So that's where the fear shows up and it tries to stop you. But in order to lean into it, you have to give it new information, right? You have to reprogram it by showing up scared, by doing it scared and not allowing your brain to control you. And most people are just like wanting to open up a new business or wanting to scale or wanting to do all these things, but they won't move forward because they're sitting here in old programming. The old programming is keeping you from being great. So that's what fear is I would
I gotta
say do it scared.
I have to ask you, I mean, what advice would you give someone that wants to push through fear?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So number one is decode it. Understand what is it? Why am I scared? Ask questions for yourself. Because a lot of it, you'll know what it is. Again, the fear that you're feeling today may have nothing to do with what's happening right now. This is old programming. Even I'll give you an example. So after losing my mom, I was 13 years old. She had brain tumor, and it was dramatic. I mean, so it's trauma, dramatic of everything that went down. It would need like 3 hour show for me to go over everything. But that experience, that trauma, really caused a lot of anxiety and fear for me as I was growing up because I felt abandonment, right? She just left and I was angry with her. Like, how dare you get sick and leave, right? You left your kids. So I had abandonment issues and, just having this anxiety and, someone's asking me to do something. My heart starts racing. My hands get clammy, panic attacks. So based on that trauma is how I was making decisions for my life. And once I figured out, wait a minute, these things, this is not even my reality. This is not who I am anymore. I have to understand that what's happening right now, that fear I'm feeling today, has nothing to do with me going after that job or opening up my business almost during COVID, right? All these different things. I am capable. This is who I am. So you have to almost tell your brain or reprogram your brain the version that you want to be. And in order to do that, is stop and take almost like take inventory of like, wait, what's going on right now? Is this I'm not scared. I could do this. I've done things like that before. Why am I stopping? So it's you really taking control and decoding it of asking that question to yourself of what could happen besides expanding and growing, you know? Fear is holding you back from doing something that you were meant to do in this world, and it's sad to see so many people, uh, just stopping and not living their best life because their past experience, their past trauma is presently in their lives and controlling them in all aspects.
I know that public speaking is one of the most common fears in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think people are afraid to fail publicly?
Well, I used to be so afraid to speak in public. Okay. So you're talking to someone here, and I don't think I've met anyone that said, I'm not afraid of speaking in public. We all are afraid. And now I'm speaking in front of 2,000 people, right? I'm getting ready to do a TEDx talk, which I'm super excited about in Texas on August 8th. And am I scared? Absolutely. Everyone is scared. So every time look, the point is the fear doesn't go away. I don't care who you are. Every time you move on to the next level, every time you elevate, fear just shows up because that's what it does. So don't look at fear as an enemy. Look at it as your friend, right? It's just letting you know that what you're about to do is going to change your life. So of course you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, public speaking, the reason why people are afraid of it because you're afraid of words, right? You may say the wrong thing. You may listen. I'm Portuguese. My first language is Portuguese, and I probably screwed up a few words here today, but I don't care, right? Because you get it. If you get away from your own self, like I usually would say, "Oh my goodness, what if I mess this word up? I'm afraid." Now I don't care. You get to a point of like, do people even hang on to your words? Do you believe 7% of the people actually remember what you say? Statistically. It's not just sure. Like we're here on this podcast and people are going to be listening, but they're not going to hang on to my every word. But here we are, afraid to speak up when people don't even remember everything. They're going to hold on to those key things that I say, but not every single word. And to me, that is why people are afraid to speak up. They just don't want to mess up and they think they're going to be judged, and nobody wants to be judged, right? But when you reprogram your mind and says, who cares? I'm not going to let that stop me. I have things to say. I have, you know, great opportunities to share with others, right? So what's the journey? What's the purpose? And all of a sudden, it just goes away. It kind of just is not as strong, right? That fear doesn't show up as much. It's there, but it's like, no, I'm going to put you to the side. I got things to do. I got business to take care of. Yeah.
Can you share the top 3 tips for public speaking?
Yes. So I actually have a speaking academy that I just created probably like 6 months ago. It's Show Up Scared Speaking Academy. And I created something completely different than most programs, speaking programs. And one I would say is my program is helping you find your voice. So finding your voice, I would say, is the most important thing because everyone is different. Listen, we all go on YouTube, we all look at all these speakers, people look at me, how I speak, and they almost want to be you. But then my thing is like, you can't do it like me. So what I do is I teach people to go and find their individual voice. We are all gifted, right? Special talents, and there's only one of you. So how can I teach you how to I speak? I wanna help you dig in and find your own voice. So number one is you got to find your voice, right? Number two is you're going to be scared and you got to show up anyway, and do it scared. And I would say number three is stop beating up on yourself, right? All the stuff you're telling yourself, none of it is true. It's not true. So that false belief and all these things that you're saying to yourself, you're keeping yourself from being great. So to me, those are the three things, and I teach that in my course to help others really tap into their greatness, to turn that pain, that fear into their power. And that's what I've done. I'm only going based on what I've done in my life. I turned my pain into my power. I became the networking queen from losing my mom and being an amazing connector and finding out at a young age that I can't do this thing called life alone. And we can't. People think, what's your why? What's your why? Whys are great. We all have our whys. My whys is to leave a legacy behind. But for me to get my why, I gotta find my right who's, right? Where are the who's? Where are the people that are gonna get you to where you're going? Because at the end of the day, we want to collapse time. We want to get there as quickly as possible. I don't want to go the long route. And I don't want anyone around me to go the long route when I have the ingredients to get you where you're going faster. Come on, let me help you get there. So find the right who's in your life that can get you where you're going faster. That is a huge tip that if you take anything out of today, take that, and that will change your life.
Yeah, those small wins over time build confidence over time.
Yeah.
And confidence usually grows through action and practice.
Mhm.
A lot of practice. I
Yeah.
mean, for anything, anyone wants to go out there and do anything, practice, practice, practice. Fail as many times as you have to actually take action and fulfill that goal you have as public speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my 7 essential C's is courage, and it's my first one, and that's when I'm usually on stage speaking on it. Courage is number 1. People think they need confidence to do things. I disagree. It's exactly what you said. You build confidence. So my quote is, confidence is the gift that you receive for being courageous. So that's the gift you get from doing hard stuff. Every time you do something hard, your brain takes note of it. I was like, okay, look at her. So now you start building confidence. You're walking in rooms that you never walked in before with that confidence because you did it 3 or 4 times and you knew you're just building relationships. Nothing's going to happen. Or you're taking these risks and you're like, wow, look at the outcome. And like you said, fail a lot because when you fail, that gets you to understand what you need to do different. Through my failures, I have I've created incredible opportunities for myself, my business, and other people. So bring on the failures because failures are lessons, and lessons allow you to start now creating other things that people need. I love failing. Yeah,
Yeah, I always say like a failure is a learning lesson. And
that's it.
as many, I mean, it's most of the time when you get around millionaires, they talk about the failures they had. And then like the
Right.
1% of the 99% what they're going after is the 1%. That's what the success was. But the 99% was all the failures they had along the journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those are all what got them where they're at today because of those
Yeah.
failures and then not fail. And it's trying, right? Because we don't know. We don't know. And I think that's where the fear comes in. You don't know the outcome of anything you're doing. You don't know the outcome of what you're going to be doing. I don't know the outcome, but I have faith. And to me, I rather hang into my faith and keep pushing through because at the end of the day, even if it's not what I wanted at the end, something greater is going to happen. You have to believe that because when you work hard and you build on something that you're passionate about, I heard something the other day. They said people are out here just going after everything, right? And they're just doing so much. But are you really doing your purpose? Are you really doing what you were intended to do in this world? Because when you start showing up with who you truly are and what your passions are and what you were intended to do in this world, everything changes, right? You already know wherever you end up, it's going to be great because you're showing up as that person that you were meant to. And I'm not saying don't try things. It's great to try things, but some of us are trying way too many things and it's just distracting you from understanding what your true purpose is. And I would hate to see someone go through life and not be able to exercise that because I know I'm living my purpose. I get to change lives every day. I get to I have a community. It's called TPN, the Power of Networking Community. We're close to 30 chapters globally. And each chapter is we're changing lives. We're changing how businesses are showing up. We're giving resources. So I know when I wake up, I'm living my purpose every single day. And that feeling, that to me, even when the fear creeps up, that feeling is louder. Yeah. And it's that's my energy every day.
You're
That's
living that every day is Friday energy. I love it.
every day. That's all like, get me on here.
Hey, I gotta have to ask you, like, what's a daily habit that helps build confidence?
Yeah, so I do have my habits. I am I'm a Leo. I wake up and I do the same thing over and over again. I'm actually being coached right now for TEDx, my talk, and my coach is like, you got to brush your teeth with the instead of the right, you got to do it left. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love having my routine. So I walk every day, and I have time for myself. So I have the non-negotiable 2 hours for myself, and I say that's the best meeting of the day so that has changed me completely. It's in my calendar, and I show up for myself every single day. And I always tell people you could do whatever you want with that. It could be an hour, it could be 30 minutes, but just having that meeting with yourself to check in, right? I check in and say, Alexandra, how you feeling? How you doing? How'd you sleep last night? And it gives me a temperature of like how I'm showing up. And that changes everything. When you just wake up and you have all this anxiety and you have so much going on, and you don't take a moment to sit down with yourself and really understand what your day looks like. And if you're spiritual, you talk to whoever you believe in, I speak to God, and then just allows me to look at my day. Then I get to show up as the person I need to show up as, right? And then I also have to, I get to look at these different responsibilities that I have and say, am I ready to perform, right? Am I ready to have conversations that may not be so comfortable? What am I doing today? So that is my daily ritual. I love it so much. I get to spend some time with myself. People often look at all my social media. How do you do it all? You're all over the place. You're doing, and that's because of those 2 hours, those power hours that I get to be with myself, that meeting. Because the truth is, it's no one else's responsibility to check up on you. And everyone's waiting for someone to check up on them. And, if they do great, but I learned in business and even personal, when you get to check in on yourself, you now show up to the world as your best version, right? As your best version, because you understand where you're at. Not every day is great, right? We know that. But at least you give yourself a little grace. I rather know if I'm showing up 80%, right? Or 30% one day than not know. Because what happens is it's messy. right? You're fighting with someone, you're angry at something, and you're just not your best self. But if I know I'm at 80 today, you're showing up as 80, but really, you're probably showing up really at 100% or even 90 because your mindset is like, I'm at 80. So you're going to, you know, if you're like me, I always want to be a little better, but at least you know, right? At least you know where you're at. Like I said, taking that temperature of like, where am I at today is a game changer and for your business. And I think that, you deserve it.
Mm.
You deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, having that gratitude every morning and, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you do with it is your gift to God at the end of the day. And if you're afraid to go talk to someone, I mean, take action. Go talk to someone. Go give someone a compliment. It's that
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. Every day when I, since you mentioned God, I gave me a little open door here. Every day when I pray, I do ask God. I say, God, send me the people that need me, right? Because we pray for things, but I always like to end my prayer with, send me the people that need me, and because I'm here to serve, right? I'm here to serve and help others, and God has a sense of humor because He sends me some interesting people, but I'm here to serve, and it's beautiful to get to be obedient and give back and help others because that's what we're here for. We it's not just about us. We have to serve and help other people. There's so many people that need your words, so many people that just need a hug, some people that just need a smile, and people are walking around angry and I just don't get that. That one smile can change someone's life because for that second they just feel seen. They feel like they're empty because no one sees them, and you just saw them, and you're like, hello, and that can change someone's entire life. Yeah,
I love that. And it's so true. Just giving a small compliment can change someone's day.
yeah, yeah.
I have to ask you also, because personal branding is so big in today's world, what makes a strong personal brand?
Yeah, so I would say staying true to your vision and your mission of your business. A lot of these brands I see, because I own a marketing firm, they don't even understand what their brand is, right? So there's two, I look at brands differently. So you have your brand, which would be like your logo, your websites, and things like that, all everything in alignment. But then you also have your personal brand. And that to me has to match, right? And even in a business, uh, when you say brand, people automatically go into like, oh, my brand is my logo, my brand. And to me, I'm like, wait a minute, what about your personal brand? How are you showing up? Right? Does it match your brand? How are you answering phones? How are you emailing somebody? How are you interacting? What are you wearing? Like, how are you walking in rooms? And to me, that's all part of your brand. And I think it's so important. And a lot of people, a lot of business owners forget that, right? They just focus on the stuff that they can actually see, which is their website. And they, focus so much money and making that great. But then the other piece doesn't even match. And that to me is not good. And then also, your social media. How does it match your brand? What does it look like? Is it messy? So to me, it's alignment, everything in harmony uh, makes a good brand. Every touch point, and it's just not one. There's many touch points in your business that you have to make sure it matches your brand. And any brand specialist or marketing company or rep will know that that's important, you know, uh, and then keep showing up, right? The more you show up for your brand, the more consistency. One of my 7 essential C's is consistency. Showing up every day for you, for your brand, for your business. Yes, consistency is where a lot of people lack as well. They'll post for a little while and then they'll stop, and nobody's going to remember you. And yeah, when I started my business 7 years ago, leaving corporate America, I knew to brand myself. And it was funny because people kept saying, I feel like you never even worked in corporate America because your Alexandra marketing is everywhere and you have to create that excitement. Perception is reality, right? Perception is reality. And what people see, and they're watching you. You think people are not watching you, they're watching you. So you got to, I said, stop being sloppy with your business. If you really want your brand to work, keep those touch points on point, and yeah, don't be sloppy with your business for sure.
A lot of people buy the story before they buy the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And
I love that.
and then a lot of people they don't they kind of like just don't think about it. They go, "Oh, many successful people, they fail many times before winning." They don't
Yeah,
really understand like most businesses fail within the first 5 years. You know, it's
yeah,
very tough to
yeah.
make it in business nowadays.
It's very and just we're saturated with information and, yeah, so that's why it's so important to make sure your brand is consistently showing up and really you are your brand, and that's exactly what you just said. People think that their logos on websites are great, but what about you? How are you showing up? And people are gonna do business with people. They don't do business with logos and websites. Those things are important, but what about you? What's your team look like? How are they showing up? How are they answering phone? How are they emailing? How are they responding? How are you showing up to a networking event? Are you going to a networking event? How often are you going? Oh, you're the owner? Great. That's good. Well, you still got to show up, right? So, and if not, you know, who's showing up for you? So it's all these excuses of, um, I'm too busy to show up for networking. But then when business is slow, that's the first place they try to go to because they want leads, right? And you got to be consistent. Do it before you need it.
Yeah, it's you versus you out there in this world being a business owner.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then the who's, right? We talked about that earlier. So it's you versus you. But if you, when you have the right who's, see, that's why we network. It's to find the right who's, to build our tribe of people that support us, advocate for us, and will refer business to us, but then also talk about us in rooms that we're not in. That is what networking is about. If you're not building your tribe and you're just going out networking, handing out business cards, but you don't have the right people that I call my networking alliances, if you don't have these people that are like working for you, then you're doing networking wrong. It's not even, what's the point? Yeah, I
I
have a
mean,
great team of businesses that love and support me and send me business all the time.
so many businesses are now just starting from social media or their phones. It's that easy nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, and understand, yeah, what is the service? What are you offering, you know? Anybody can start a business. It's easy, but it's to keep the business, right? To make it sustainable, to make it, make profitable. Anyone could go and start a business, but are you making money? You know, there's so many, layers to running a business, and do you have the right team? Do you have the right people? Where are the experts? We talked about the who's already, and I'll keep plugging that in because that's important. You can't do this alone.
What advice would you give to a young entrepreneur who wants to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would say, do it, right? Do it scared. Find the right people that can support you, okay? And make sure one another, seven essential C's, is company. The company you keep can make or break you. So, who are the people in your corner and make sure you keep the right people around you, the people that are lifting you up. Because as an entrepreneur, a lot of people around us don't understand what we want to do, our vision, our mission. And a lot of times they, you know, because they're afraid to do it, they look at you like, you're really going to do that? Make sure you're talking to the right people about your dreams. Because if you're talking to someone that doesn't have that same mindset, they may, you know, discourage you from doing it. So make sure you're around the right people. And I believe if you're an entrepreneur out there, you're young and you're wanting to do it, I'm cheering for you because you can do it. Anything that you put your mind to, you can do. It's all up to you. You could either get in your way and stop yourself, or you can move forward. No, it don't. You can't blame the world. It's you. You know, you. If you want it, you can go and get it. It's out there. It's opportunities are out there for everyone. And I think mindset is everything. Once you say you're going to go do it, and go find the people that already did it and hang out with them. It's that easy. That's the formula.
Yeah, I mean, networking helps people find opportunities like they never thought they were there. It's like this podcast, for example. Like
Yeah,
you found me, you DM me, and then
yeah,
one thing leads to another, and now we're in a podcast together. And
yeah,
now we're going to be connecting, collaborating on these posts and stuff like that. And
yeah.
then you'll find someone else because someone else is going to be on your page that gets to me, and I find someone else because I already
Absolutely.
seen some of the people that have been on my podcast follow you, which I thought was like, oh, that's cool. What a small world.
Yeah, so I love what you're saying because you're one person away from changing your entire life. That is networking, right? You're one person away from changing your entire life, and people don't realize that. So when you're at a networking event, when you're online and you see someone like I saw you, take advantage of that opportunity and speak up. Send an email. I belong in your podcast. I want to connect with you because you're one person away. Seriously, people don't realize I have so many stories of opportunities that have come to me just because I was in the right room, just because I kept showing up, even when I'm scared. We're all scared. Don't think, oh, because I hear, well, I'm too scared. Go by myself. Go by yourself. Go meet some people because you're not alone. Go have a conversation. That person wants to meet you. I promise you. They want to meet someone like you and connect with you. And if you believe in yourself, like I believe in myself with you, I'm like, you want people need to hear my story. People need to hear your story. People need to hear how you are helping others in your industry. If you believe in yourself, nothing could stop you. Nothing can stop you.
You know, with you being the networking queen, what are some of the best networking events you've attended?
Oh my goodness. In my industry, so I would say I love conferences. I'm going to put a little plug in. Elevate 2026 was this year in March, and that was over 250 people. And that was amazing because I would say it was the best, not just because I was the host, but because of what I know is important at an event. We had great panels, those are amazing. We had keynote speakers, and then we had activations in the area because people just are not there to just listen to people speak, but we had all these different vendors, and we had a photo shoot where people can get headshots. Most people don't have a nice headshot, so I everything you can think of, I created a space so everyone can feel seen, heard, and valued. People say it afterwards. They say, wow, when at Elevate, I just feel like I belong in the room. In fact, my saying is, you belong in a room. So those are to me is I couldn't find networking events like that. So I created my own. That's what we do.
I
And we
love
have
that.
every year. So Elevate 2027 will be next year in March. And I'm starting to work on that now.
That's wonderful. And the link will be in the description down below, everybody. And
We're going in. We're going
yeah,
in. It's amazing experience. People fly in from everywhere. This year we have people flying from Boston, Puerto Rico. It's unbelievable. They just want to be in that room because I said you belong in a room. And from a networking queen, I created a space where you're going to walk away with networking tips. You're going to understand how to network, but then you're going to learn from incredible speakers who are not just there to talk at you, but they're there to educate you. So you're leaving with actionable things that you can put in place in your business immediately. And that to me is a great networking event because who wants to go hear another speaker? Who wants to go into another networking room with people handing out business cards? Like, what am I getting out of it? And that's the world we live in today. And that's why even TPN community that I mentioned, it's called the Power of Networking Community. I created from my book, and we have like 30 chapters now. That's what we live on. We create these spaces for people to be able to network, but they feel like they belong in that room versus what networking event am I going to go to? Well, TPN community is going to be soon in every state. I want to have 100 chapters by December 31st. So that's the goal. We're close. We're getting there.
now what's the best piece of advice you've ever received in your career?
I would say I've received a lot, but I will say one that sticks out was from a woman who had been in the industry for many, many years, a lot older than me. And one day she just held my hands and she goes, "Can I say something to you?" I was like, "Sure." She goes, "You've already made it. Slow down, be present, and enjoy this ride." And I was like, wow. And that was years ago. And I love what she said there. There's so much to unpack. It was sometimes we just keep wanting more and more. And that's in my nature. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening, including yourself, we just want the next, the next, the next, that we forget to enjoy the now. And that I'll never forget because every time I get brushed and do all these things, I try to focus on where am I at right now and celebrate that because where you're at right now, you will never be back at, right? So if you don't take the moment to enjoy, and then the other piece of it is also just rushing, right? We're rushing sometimes. And I know myself, it's the world, right? It's loud, so loud, so many distractions, and we're forced to rush. So if we're not intentional about how we're showing up for our businesses and the things that we're doing daily, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 52 years old, which I'll be in August. And you're going to be like, holy cow, how did I get here? So I'm glad that she told me that years ago because it did help me slow down. I hope that the person listening to this will take a little bit of a little time to just slow down and be present where you're at and enjoy where you're at. Like sit where you're at right now and meet yourself where you're at, right? And be proud and celebrate. You said it earlier, those small wins. Every time you celebrate those small wins, your brain starts taking note of that, and it's exciting. So yeah, that's the advice I would give.
So you're saying it's about the journey, not the destination, but the
Yeah,
personal development throughout the journey and being present in the moment.
yeah, that is, yeah, that's really what life's about. You know, we all are looking at the destination, but it's that journey that really counts. Everything I've shared today it came from my past, my journey. And I look back, and that's why I talk about fear so much, and I talk about doing it scared and showing up scared because your brain programs everything that you've gone through. And we're moving so fast that we're forgetting, wait, the reason why I'm scared about this is because this happened. This has nothing to do with what's in front of me. So if you want new data, you need to reprogram it and keep living, but really living. It was an analogy I heard the other day, and it stuck with me because I work out a lot. It said, we tell our brains to do something. Like we wake up and we promise ourselves that today I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do this, and this, and that. Let's say each rep, I'm going to do 10 to 15 reps. Well, most people, they get there if they go, right? We lie to ourselves all the time. We let ourselves down all the time, but then we expect different results. But say I'm at the gym and I said I'm going to do 10 reps. I get to 8 and I'm uncomfortable. Most people just stop. See, that's life. Every time you get uncomfortable, you want to stop. Why? Get through it. Because when you say you're going to do something, do it. Every time you don't do it, your brain takes note of it. So that's why you're always scared because you're not completing the things that you say you can do. Yes, life is not easy. And yes, life can be very painful, but go through it. Do it. Take that extra rep. Go to 10. Stop being at 8. Stop being at 7 because you can do it. You're setting limitations on what you can do. So guess what your brain is doing? Setting limitations of what you can do. You want a 10 extra life? You better hit that 10. But
I love that.
it's a little painful, right? I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but if you want easy, you stay at the 7 and 8. I don't want easy. I want 10, right? I want 11. So that is a huge mindset shift that the world needs right now. And for the people that are sitting here saying, why can I get there? All these people are there. Well, they're at the 10. And they went through a little pain, you know? They went through a little pain, but look where they're at now. If you can't go to that little pain, and it's not even pain, it's just uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable. Let's get uncomfortable so we can go to where we're going and crush our goals. I mean,
That's a
that's
great takeaway. I mean, your mind has to be stronger than your feelings
yeah, yeah. You gotta, but your mind plays tricks on you too, right?
all
So
the
you gotta
time.
push through it. Yeah, all the time. Go for the 10, man. I'm telling you. That will be a life change. I do it all the time. Even today, I was doing well. I'm like, I said, you know, 12, and I'm gonna do 15. You gotta go the extra, and I call it reps. Go do an extra rep. Imagine if you do an extra rep every single day. What is that gonna look like for your life? And when I'm using rep as the analogy, I'm talking about read that extra page. I'm talking about make that extra call, right? I'm talking about show up to that extra networking event. Okay. That's the rep. or raise your hands and tell someone what you're feeling. You're in a boardroom at work and you have something to say, that's a rep. Raise your hands or your heart's racing. Good. Say it anyway. That's a rep. Are you
If that
scared
doesn't
to
motivate you, I don't know what will, everybody. You gotta go out there and go chase your dreams because your dreams will not
everybody
chase you.
better go run for president. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It was a joke with my group. I'm outside running. They're like, what are you running for president? I'm like, yes, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. But yeah, you got it. Those reps, man, every single day they count. Every single day.
You know, many young women have big dreams, but they're scared to start.
Of
What
course.
what advice would you give to a young woman who wants to start their own business?
I would say find other women that have done it and connect with them. Because when you see other women doing the things you want to do, you get inspired, right? I'm not where I'm at because I just woke up and had a dream. I found the people that did it already. I found the women that I want to be like, right? And I'm not telling you that you're going to be like that person, but there's certain characteristics that they have that I want it, and you could build that because at the end of the day, you're still going to be yourself, right? You have your own, what another seven essential C is classy. Classy, but you need to be sassy because you got to show up classy, do things the right way, right? But sassy, that's your flavor that God gave you. That's your uniqueness. Like no one in this world can ever touch. If I told you that no one could ever be you and have what you have, what would you do with that? You would show up a little bit more confident, wouldn't you? Like no one could be Alexandra. No one could be you, right, Matthew? Like you are one of a kind. How would you show up every day? You're just like, let's go. You start inspiring, you start teaching, you start collaborating, you start wanting to meet people because now you're not intimidated. You're not jealous. You're not envy. You just know you're in your own lane, living your purpose. That is what I would tell that young girl.
I appreciate you saying that, and because there's a lot of young women out there that have that problem, and it's just take that first step. And I love how you said that. Reach out to other women that have in that field that you want to go into. That's a great takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah, and then a lot of people are afraid to, right? They're afraid to because they're like, "Oh, well, what if she?" No. She's going to be so happy. We want to mentor. I mentor so many girls. I love it. In fact, I volunteer mentoring Women of Tomorrow. I'm very passionate about that. Reach out to me. Like we want to help you. We want to help the next generation. And if somebody doesn't want to help you, well, you get swapped. You move on. Find the people that want to help you. Because most of us that's already done it, we want to help you. We want to see you succeed. We want to give you the tools that you need. And if we don't know it, we're gonna go find out. And to me, that is how I got here. And that's how many of the women that are successful right now has gotten to where they're at today by finding the other women that's done it and lock arms and let's get it. That's just
It's
the
all
way
about that networking.
all about the networking, the connections, and building that relationship, and getting to know people and let the ego go. That ego is death. It kills relationships, kills businesses. Humble down, nobody's better than anybody else. I don't care how much money you have, what you have, how much, accolades. I don't care what you have. Nobody's better than nobody else, right? Just,
Yeah, the self-belief at the end of the day is so strong.
yeah,
I mean, even for me, starting the podcast, you probably with your business too, you had so many people that doubted you, that didn't believe in you,
yeah.
told you it wouldn't work. They probably said some things about you behind your back, but you kept on pushing forward no matter, what they say. We keep on rocking every single day.
Every single day, because it's none of your business what anybody else has to say about you. That's none of your business. And if they're talking about you, that's actually good PR. Let them, good or bad, let them talk. You stay in your lane and keep doing those reps every single day. Don't let nobody get in your way. Those are called distractions, right? That's all they are. They come in to distract you. And if you allow them, then it's you. You have to know that you got to get laser focused on what you want. And people only will do and say things to you if you allow them, right? So stay focused.
I ask this question on every one of my podcasts. As you know, the show is called Every Day is Friday. Friday has a special energy. What does Every Day is Friday mean to you?
Whew, everyday Friday. I see, I love the weekends. So Friday reminds me of the weekend. But Friday is a day that I look at my accomplishments for the week. It's a day that I say, okay, I killed it. Like I did it again. Let's go. So I get excited about Friday. It's usually my office day. I take meetings. I'm getting ready to go to a networking event. Shocker, right? I'm going to Miami Brickell for our TPN launch party today. Um, so Fridays are always exciting. It's the day that I just have this energy of um, maybe lunch meeting, catching up with people, looking at what I did for the week, reaching out to some people that I just didn't have time to. So I love when you say every day is Friday because that energy, if you can have that same energy every single day and say it's Friday, imagine how much more you'll do, how more productive you'll be, and just happier, right? Because we get excited. Everyone's like, Friday, you know that song? I don't know. I'm terrible at singing, but
Is it like, it's Friday,
Friday,
Friday? Yeah, that one.
yeah, that song.
Everybody
So
gets
that's
down
the
on
exciting.
Friday.
Everyone's doing all these videos about Friday. But imagine if you took that energy, and I know that's what you did about Every Day's Friday, and put it on to every single day. You'll probably make more money, you'll be happier, and you'll crush your goals daily because we are excited about Friday. So that's what it
Bring
means.
that bring that Friday energy into everyday life, and
That is
that's what it's
that's
all about.
important. That's why I was like, I saw you. I'm like, I need to be on this show because I love Fridays. And again, confidence of sending that message. We all can do it. You belong in every I always say, go to the rooms that you don't think you belong in. That's your challenge, whoever's listening. The rooms you don't think you belong in are the rooms you need to be in. Let's go.
Let's go. This is your chance to leave the listeners with something powerful. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, I think I shared a lot, right? I definitely unpack. I love being on podcasts because you just get to, meet new people, right? Your followers. But I mean, again, I will leave with just do it scared. Do it scared is so important, and in life we're all scared. But the difference between the people that are winning and the ones that are not, they're doing it scared. They're doing it scared. So hopefully that's you, even if you're feeling a little bit afraid of not accomplishing some of the goals that you put forth. And I'll say even January, you had your resolution. We're going into 6 months in the year. It's not too late. Dust it off and let's get it moving and start really one at a time. Look at it and say, okay, what can I do today? Something small. I talked about the reps, one rep at a time, and let's get it done. In 6 months, you'll be someplace different than you are today. That's because you could say, I did it scared, and look where I'm at. You just keep doing it.
With that being said, if anyone out there wants to be on a podcast, they have a journey or they want to share their stories and experiences, don't be afraid to DM me out there, everybody, because you never know. You might just hop on the show.
Yes.
And all your information will be in the description down below. But where can the people follow and support your work?
So I am in every, I would say, platform. It's Alexandra Silva Labarr. You type it in, you'll find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. I'm funny on TikTok because I have this thing called So I Just Heard. It's really cool. And then very active in all of it, believe it or not. So
Everyone, go give her a follow down below in the description. And that's a wrap for this episode. And I appreciate you being here and sharing your stories and
thank you for
experiences.
having me. Ciao.
And to everyone listening out there, make sure you stay tuned for more amazing stories on Every Day is Friday. If you enjoyed this, make sure you follow, share, and keep that Every Day is Friday mindset going. Stay inspired and make every day feel like Friday. Until next time, everybody.